Hey nerds, we got some pretty big casting news this week. Actually, specifically today, Marvel's Civil War announced that essentially if you've appeared in a Marvel movie, you will be a part of the Civil War cast, minus, of course, Thor, who will be off doing Thor Ragnarok, we can only presume, the Hulk doing whatever he's doing, and those rascally Guardians of the Galaxy. And immediately my friends took to social media and said, how are they going to have all those characters in a movie? To which I say, it's called Civil War. You need lots of actors to be in a war. It's not a civil disagreement between a few friends. It's a civil war. You need lots of them. And by the way, the same people that are very upset about all these characters being jammed in are shitting their pants over Spider-Man's involvement. They can't wait. And we have to completely explain who Spider-Man is because it's a movie, and we have to assume everyone watching the movie is an idiot. I'm very angry, but I'm not. I'm actually super excited. And I'm excited about today's show. So stick around. Geek 360 is coming up next. Hey everybody, welcome to Geek 360. I'm Tommy Bechtold, and with me as always is the Banshee who curses my nightmares, Stephanie Pressman. Stephanie, how are you? Haven't been able to break that curse yet. So we got a lot of geeky news. Geeky 3 times. Said it like Beetlejuice. Coming up this week. First things first, we saw a lovely little teaser trailer for a new Disney Channel original movie, Disney's Descendants, which is essentially all of the villains' children in Disney movies. They die in the cartoons, but for some reason in real life, they go to an enchanted island where they raise their children in captivity. And this presumes that the children of evil Disney villains get to go to high school with the good people. It's made as a Disney Channel original movie. It just looks like a real piece of shit, I gotta be honest. I think it's an awesome idea. But the look of it is just a real nightmare. It's real bright. It's shot like Girl Meets World or Liv and Maddie. Not that I watch those shows. I do, once in a while. I don't know. You gotta watch something when you're hungry. Steph, did you see the teaser?
I did, and I just wanted it to be a lot darker. That's really my problem with it. It's a little too bright and cheery, like you said. Yeah. But you know what? I was excited. Last night, there was a Riff Tracks where, you know, people comment on the film live, and they did a Riff Tracks last night of The Room, which is the greatest movie ever made. If you've never seen The Room, go out and watch it. But what I like about this is that Riff Tracks doing it is, if you've ever gone to a live screening of The Room, it's every comedian in Los Angeles trying to make the funniest jokes and one-up each other, and it'll be really nice to go to a theater where people aren't doing that in the theater with you. They're doing it from wherever they're broadcasting the live one. And I think that you can go online and download it now.
I'm personally offended. I believe The Room's dialogue is perfect and requires no commentary. You simply watch a maniac go through 90 minutes of some strange narcissistic dream where he keeps a child off drugs and plays a lot of rec sports.
I love Tommy Wiseau.
Speaking of recreational drugs, Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love's apartment is now available on Air BNB. You can stay in the same Hollywood love shack where Kurt presumably penned Heart-Shaped Box. I don't know, maybe. You can Airbnb it. I'm guessing they've steam cleaned everything. I would imagine the walls have been painted. That takes away a little bit of the luster for me. Stephanie, you going to be shacking up in Kurt's old place anytime soon?
You know, if I didn't live down the street, I would totally do this. I'm a huge Nirvana fan and Seattle grunge music dork, so I would love to do that. But I live right down the street, so what's the point?
Okay, fair enough.
So they announced that the new Spider-Man reboot may be called Spider-Man: The New Avenger. And I wonder what that'll be about, Tommy. I mean, it can't possibly be another Spider-Man origin story, right?
Well, I would hope not. But like I said in my opening, I would say mental breakdown, the fans need to be explained again how he got those powers. What they should do is, like, the government should drop, like, they go over to countries where they're giving aid and they drop, like, rice and medical supplies. They should drop pamphlets all over the United States explaining that Peter Parker gets bit by a spider and then has the powers of Spider-Man. I feel like that would just help, and then we can just get right into it and explain why he's a web slinger. I think that would really help. I'm still looking forward to it, though.
Is there one person in the world right now that doesn't know
There's
origin story?
There's a man on top of Mount Everest who's just done the most impressive physical feat you can do, and he has no idea that Spider-Man was bit by a spider because it took him so long to get up there. That's it for our news. Congratulations to Geeky Shows, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Agent Carter. Of course, my favorite show, The Middle, all getting renewals.
Gallivant,
for another
too.
season. Gallivant, sing along. We've got a lot more Geek 360 coming up, but first, quick message from a man you're going to see a little bit later, Sweaty Nerds.
It's time to get sweaty. It's time to get sweaty.
Let's start over. Sweaty, sweaty. You want to get super sweaty? Oh my God, look at
So you want to start reading some comics, huh?
Hey, I'm Jon Schnepp, and you're watching Sweaty Nerds, the show that covers comic books, science fiction, special effects, fantasy, movies, video games.
Anything that gets you sweaty.
We're going to be covering, so check it out.
Activate.
Activate.
I remember seeing it in the theater, and it blew me away.
10 hours makeup, 5 minutes of shooting, and then like 4-hour removal. And that was a shoot day.
How awesome does this just look? I never really understood the character of Superman until I read this.
Absolutely one of the best sci-fi movies ever made. You have to see it because it holds up to today.
It's the best game ever. It is undisputed. You need to play this game before you die or I will cry.
I'm turning into something.
I think he focuses on the right things in sci-fi. I think some science fiction films get bogged down in showing you all this cool stuff.
Sure.
Sweaty nerds.
It's all wetty, sweaty,
Sweaty Nerds!
You will watch it.
Only on the stream.tv and
Sprinkle, 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 go.
Welcome back to Geek 360. We are so excited. This is a little bit of a throwback Thursday for us. We have the first ever Geek 360 guest has returned to the show. Welcome back, Jon Schnepp, everybody.
What's up?
John, we're so glad to have you back because
I forgot that I was the first
you were
guest.
the OG
mentioned it. I was
guest.
like, that's right.
It was it didn't test well, but we decided to bring you back for another try.
Thank you for giving me another shot.
It's my pleasure. We're certainly going to be talking about your new film, The Death of Superman Lives. What happened?
Oh.
But first, we've got to talk about some movie news. They released some provocative images from the DC universe over the last couple of weeks. First, we got Jared Leto's Joker. Then we got an entire police lineup-esque Usual Suspects shot of the Suicide Squad. There was considerable outrage, of course, in both photos. For some reason, I can't believe nerds got upset about something. John, how did you feel about the Suicide Squad and the Joker?
I fucking loved him.
Yeah.
I thought the Joker looks great. It's a different kind of Joker.
Yes.
You know, I mean, we've got Jack Nicholson's Joker. We had Romero's like comedy camp Joker. Right. And then we got Heath Ledger's like chaos, really scary Joker. Right. I think this Joker is going to be somewhere in the middle, somewhere, you know, really far out there. And he's going to be a creepy, weird Joker. I mean, a lot of people are like, it's a Juggalo Joker, a lot of Hot Topic Joker. It's like, yes, it's got a lot of those elements to it, but to me, it's different.
Yeah.
And I enjoy different. I didn't want to see what I've already seen before. And you know, honestly, the Suicide Squad, it looked great to me. It looked like a dirtier, weirder version of the Expendables. You know,
right?
I mean, it looked like a weird group of people. And once again, it's like it's shot with like bright lights and stuff. It's not going to be filmed that way.
Right.
I mean, these are like it's not. That's not exactly how it's going to look. So right. People got bunged up about Harley Quinn's outfit. That outfit is right out of the comic books, and right. She's going to be wearing like 8 different outfits. I guarantee you're going to see an original Harley Quinn outfit, and people are going to complain about that too. That's just the way the internet is.
It's not exactly as I liked.
Right. No, I think the Joker point, especially, it's like people would be furious if he looked like he was doing an imitation of any of the 3 visual iconic Jokers.
Right, it's just the same. It's totally the same.
I really wanted him to be Jim Carrey. Let's be honest. I'm just kidding.
Jim Carrey's Riddler.
Oh, the Riddler.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's like the Dirty Dozen
green.
or like 7 Samurai. That's what that lineup is like.
Right.
I think it looks cool. I mean, if you saw David Ayer's Fury,
yeah,
there's some amazing action sequences in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's really it's a pretty tough war film. So.
No, I agree. Now, I actually I thought either one of you would be more of an expert on this. Is the Joker slated to be a prominent character in a DC movie as of yet? Or is he just kind of, like, we know he's going to cameo, basically, in Suicide Squad, right? Isn't that what they've
Well,
announced,
you know, it's really hard to tell. I mean, we don't know what his role is in the Suicide Squad, but it's way more than a cameo, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Harley are part of the story in a much larger way. I'd say Batman is cameoing. That's how I would approach that. Because a cameo to me is somebody who's in something for like maybe 3 to 5 minutes of the entire movie. That's a cameo. Unless you go to a real cameo, like the elevator's opening. Hey, it's Mel Brooks. You're like, hey, what's going on, guys? That's like, I don't know, stunt casting.
Right.
You know
He's going to do more than like the Stan Lee.
Yeah. What are you doing here? I don't know. Door closes. See ya. Yeah. Cameo. Like,
I don't know.
That's
I thought
a cheap cameo.
I thought it looked good. I mean, I'm excited to see what Jared Leto brings to it. He always has something exciting and new between like Requiem for a Dream and what was the movie where he was
Nobody.
The drag.
It was a great movie.
Where
Weird
he was
as hell.
the transgender
Dallas Buyers
prostitute.
Club. You mean
yes.
the one where he won a fucking Oscar?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Dallas
he was
Buyers
pretty
Club.
awesome in that
He
one.
was great in that one too.
That
In My So-Called Life, come on, you can't get better than that.
Of course.
He's also got a band where he likes to rock out.
Yeah, he likes
What?
to jam out. And he cut his
He's a
hair for the role.
musician?
That's
Yeah.
dedication.
Made it green. Come on, that was worth the $5 million. or
No, it
whatever
looks
that
really
paid.
cool, and I bet you 1 million people are going to go out and get those ha 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 tattoos because those pretty darn
Damaged
cool.
is the only thing I don't like.
Yeah,
but,
that was.
Yeah.
But I saw like another behind the scene still, and it wasn't there.
Yeah, they said
So-
some of those
Yeah.
tattoos may have just been for like the promotional shot.
Yeah.
So we've got something new from an old source. Speaking of something new from an old source, some exciting TV news for me anyway. Dragon Ball, the franchise in general, is returning to American television with its first new cartoon in 17 years. Did you guys watch any of the original Dragon Ball?
I remember I used to watch Dragon
Pokemon.
Balls.
Yeah.
It was such a weird show. It was like two old men.
Yes.
It was called Dragon Balls.
Yes.
And they would just like yell at each other.
Yes.
And slap each other and be like, I'm tired of you following me around, Dragon Balls.
Yes.
And the other one would be like, don't you call me Dragon Balls, Dragon Balls. Remember
I don't know
that?
that you watched it sober.
Yeah, no, it was like kind of like a weird mixture, live action with puppets. And there was always an old man who was like almost naked.
Were
It
you
was a
taken
weird
in a
show.
van and forced to watch this?
No, everybody talks about Dragon Balls. You guys know what the show. You don't pretend
I
you
ate
haven't
some
seen
Dragon
that.
Balls at one point or
I'm
another.
sure you will at some point see
No.
Dragon Ball.
I'm a
Stephanie.
Pokemon person,
That's
not a
great.
Dragon Ball person.
Collect them all.
Here's my thing with Dragon Balls. It's the original, like, it's a stoner cartoon soap opera. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, those episodes would literally be, nothing would happen for 22 minutes for like 3 straight weeks. And then all of a sudden, it's like a soap opera. It would just build and build and build, but build through like exposition and like weird flashbacks that didn't have action in them either. And it was all very convoluted. There was a million characters. It's basically for high people. Essentially, high people rejoice. Your favorite cartoon
But
is
didn't
coming
they
back.
fight each other and like weird electromagnetic beams would come out of their heads?
They would go Super Saiyan.
Yeah, they'd be like standing and like weird swirling stuff. I'm so angry at you.
Yeah, it was like every angry like nerd
like that.
college kid's like fantasy that they could explode into this muscular blonde man. And like also there was weird like explode into a muscular blonde man.
Or
is
a weird
also,
green guy.
I really want that to happen. I want to explode into a large blonde
I want
man.
to explode into a strange green wizard and then explode again.
I mean, I think that this
Can
conversation.
I want to re-explode into an old man called Dragon Balls.
This conversation has gotten sufficiently uncomfortable, which is perfect for our Geek of the Week, the Awkward Conversations podcast.
Nice
Whoa, the Awkward. You can check
transition.
them out at nerdreactor.com and then type in the keyword awkward because you're going to get that in their category. Awkward Conversations. Your friend Anastasia is one of the hosts.
Yeah,
of that?
she's one of the hosts of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after show with me.
Well, shout out to Anastasia.
Yeah,
and I should give a shout out to Philip Wilburn, who did some voice work on the original Dragon Balls. Maybe one of those
Dragon
old
Balls.
men you were talking
Was he
about.
the old man?
He was the one
I
going
think
Dragon
his name
Balls.
was Wilbur, right? I totally remember the credits. They were really weird, kind of block-like credits made out of wood.
That's right.
Yeah, I prefer for some reason to remember that.
That sounds exactly like.
I have no
what I'm
idea
talking
what's
about.
happening.
We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to have a large sip of water and go to a happy place. Let's get this quick message from our friends at thestream.tv.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
This is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
The more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy, it was hot, it was heated, I was into it.
You are gonna be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama, tell her, go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on the stream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
Welcome back, and before we get to the chat, we have a quick, Stephanie, you got to actually experience a red carpet for Jon's film, The Death of Superman Lives. What happened? And you got to ask some pretty provocative questions, and we got some provocative answers. So let's hear how that went.
Tell us 5 things that people should know about Tommy Bechtold.
Tommy Bechtold. 5 things that people should know about Tommy Bechtold. Tommy Bechtold likes to walk around and drag his knuckles while screaming really loudly. And this only happens between 2 and 3 at night. And he told me that. Number 2, he likes to sleep with crystals under his back, like sharp crystals. That's what he told me. Number 3, he likes to take raw sticks of butter, like full sticks, and dip them in mayonnaise and eat them. That's his snack at night. Number 4, he's a big Simon & Simon fan. Number 5, let's see, why isn't he here at the Egyptian?
All true. All true. Tell you what, that's how I get my strength. Butter dipped.
I saw it just earlier. He was walking around with a stick of butter with strawberry butter. You know, and dipping it into mayonnaise. It was weird. I was like, why are you doing that strawberry butter? He's like, changing it up.
Straight from Uncle Bob's farm, some strawberry butter. Well, that was certainly enough fodder for the chat room. I'm sure it's blazing. Brian, who are you talking to in there?
Oh my God, we got all the regulars. I got the Quad, I got Star Drew, I got Jack Satin there. No Jet City Muse, surprisingly.
Jet City Muse is out.
What? I don't know what's happened, but we got a lot of questions.
So
I'm going to move quick.
Okay.
This one's for Jon. Jon, we want to know any piece of information that no one has asked you yet about the documentary. Is there anything you haven't commented on and want to?
Let's see. No one's really asked me. I mean, well, you mean after they've seen it or before they've seen it? I guess they can't ask that, so I'll just go ahead.
Yeah, I assume. After.
I will go with saying some of the information that people have gotten wrong, because I don't know if they saw it or not. Is a lot of people are always saying like Tim Allen was going to play Brainiac, and that was not the case. It was actually Christopher Walken. So it was always fun. I knew that for so many months, and we none of us or the crew, we couldn't say anything to anybody because we wanted to keep that surprise. But now it's been out, it's all over all the reviews. Every single review has to mention that. So it's out, the cat's out of the bag. Christopher Walken was going to play Brainiac.
I like that.
Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. Also, the guys in the chat would love to know if you play Star Wars games.
Do I play Star Wars games?
You're a gamer, and do you play Star Wars games?
I played Knights of the Old Republic, both the very first one and the second one, and I'm very excited to hear that BioWare is developing a brand new Knights of the Old Republic game. That information hasn't even been released yet, but I happen to know that, so I'm sorry I just spoiled something for somebody. But anyway, if you're a sweaty nerd for Knights of the Old Republic, it was one of the first RPG games, and I was always like, I don't want to play that. I want to play. I don't want to be reading shit. And then I played that game, and I got completely absorbed into being fucking completely Sith. And I played the game totally Sith, and then after it was over, I was like, my God, this game was so amazing. I played it and then went Jedi. So it was a fantastic game. He's telling me to look into this camera. I wanted to keep looking over here, but I have to listen to Kellen. Anyway, hey.
I appreciate you looking over here. I do.
I know. I was trying to talk to the actual guy asking me the question, but Kellen doesn't care. So I'll talk into this strange HAL-like blinking device. So, Knights of the Old Republic, now I feel weird and devoid of humanity as I speak into a computer. Process this. Kellen from the planet Krell. Anyway, Knights of the Old Republic is the Star Wars game that I played. Of course, I played, when I was a little kid, I played the coin-op stand-up, you know, and there's a lot of games that are out there. There's a ton of games. Like, I'm looking forward to playing the brand new Battlefront. So that is one that I definitely will play.
Much appreciated. Back to you guys as producer. I should have cut that segment a lot shorter.
Thank you, Brian. That was wonderful.
John. Thank you, John.
I'm glad we got to talk about some games because it's time for our favorite gamer and our resident gaming expert, Miss Erika Ishiii, with her Game On. What do you got, Erika?
Did John just say about Bioware and Star Wars?
Yes, I did.
Just parse this information for a moment. All right, well, hello, game friends. Let me tell you, the video game world is still reeling from the cancellation of Silent Hills. This game was supposed to be the chosen one! This game was supposed to revitalize the Silent Hill franchise, and it had everything going for it. It was starring Norman Reedus from Walking Dead. It was in collaboration with Master of Horror Guillermo del Toro, and it was directed by Hideo Kojima. I realize you may not know that last name, a lot of you, but for those of you who don't know, Hideo Kojima is a bit of a cult-like figure in the video game community. He's the writer, director, producer behind the Metal Gear Solid games, and he's well known for being a difficult-to-work-with genius who just doesn't want to follow the rules, man. You know, the video game world has a lot of celebrities, also very colorful, just like Hollywood. And since video games are what I believe to be the rising, soon-to-be dominant medium, I'm gonna give you all a crash course in the rock stars of the video game world. First up, we have Gabe Newell. Now, Mr. Newell is one of the co-founders of Valve, the companies behind Half-Life, Portal, and the software distribution service Steam. He's a bit of a Steve Jobs-like figure for PC gamers because he criticizes both Xbox and PlayStation and is known for his controversial views. His fans are dedicated, very dedicated. Shigeru Miyamoto. Miyamoto-san is the father of modern video games. He's the Orson Welles of our medium. He's the reason that a lot of us got into this racket to begin with. The man is Nintendo, having created Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, just to name a few of those titles. Classic, old school Hollywood is what he would be. Mr. Troy Baker. The ubiquitous and talented Troy Baker is one of the few voice actors that I would say actually has a little bit of star power in this medium. Troy has voiced literally hundreds of characters, and along with Mr. Nolan North, another voice actor, is the go-to male protagonist in AAA games. So he's a bit like, you know, let's say Tom Cruise in his prime. Just seriously, look him up and weep at the impressiveness of his resume. Finally, we have Marcus Notch Peterson. Notch, as he's known to the online gaming community, is one of the co-creators of the addictive sensation Minecraft and is the baller of this list. He outbid Jay-Z and Beyonce for a $17 million mansion in Beverly Hills. He set a record for the amount of money paid for a house in this area. The house has a candy room, a car showroom, a tequila bar, a vodka bar, a wine bar, and it's somewhere I want to go more than anywhere else in this world. Well, yes, sir, with video games now being considered art, like all the popular mediums before it, it's going to have some artists that are going to capture the hearts and minds of the little people. And with that will come the trappings of success in the entertainment industry. Soon you're going to see red carpet video game premieres, TMZ profiling the fast and loose lifestyles of lead programmers, and of course, Cribs Video Gamer Edition. I would like to remind everybody that video games is now earning more money than the music industry. So all my friends that work at Riot Games, you know, that created League of Legends that's now being shown on ESPN, I hope you guys are all gonna get used to the paparazzi because this is the way things are gonna be from now on. For more behind the screens information, follow me at Samurai Erika on Twitter. Thank you.
Thank you, Erika. I took away a couple of things from that. One, that guy Notch, that photo we had of him, he looks like the detective, the police guy that the Joker shoots in Tim Burton's Batman when he just guns down from the balcony. And two, Silent Hill brought me back to my childhood. There was a hill in the back of our house, and when we were bad, our father would send us there and say, "Be silent. go to that hill. So a little bit of a, I guess,
valve.
a little.
This made me think of. I got something wrong with my valve. Confederacy of dunces. I just kept hearing my valve isn't working.
I have butter and mayonnaise in my valves at all times, so everything
Tommy,
just slides.
especially that strawberry butter, dude. I got worried about you. I was like, just at least 4 sticks a day. That's too much.
I love that butter, man. I love that butter.
Just stop dipping in mayonnaise because that's doubling up. You know what I'm saying?
Got to keep things slick. Got to keep things slick. Speaking of looking slick, Stephanie, we got a pretty good fashion pick this week. You want to tell us a little more about it?
Absolutely. Our fashion find of the week this week is a brand that's very near and dear to my heart. It was started by one of my best friends, Camille Falciola, and she started by making cosplay costumes, and I saw her doing that and was like, hey girl, make me a dress. And the dress I'm wearing tonight, and I wore it at the premiere, is actually the first dress that she made, but she does make tons of custom-made dresses. You can find her on Etsy, Frakkin Frocks, and you can work with her to make a custom-made dress for you. The dress that Erika's wearing tonight is also by Frakkin Frocks. It's this lovely Star Wars dress, and mine is a Marvel dress that actually uses 3 completely different fabrics. The sleeves are a fabric, the top is a fabric, it has my beautiful Thor that I'll be missing in Civil War right on my chest, where he should be at all times, and then has comic book print all on the bottom. And it's amazing. So find her on Etsy, Frakkin Frocks, and I can't wait to see what she makes me next.
Frakkin Frocks, she'll work with you. I love a good dress negotiation.
Yeah. Does she know how to make suits?
Yeah, she's working on that.
I might be talking to Frakkin Frocks in a minute. I need an absorbing man, Crusher Creel outfits. You know
My girl down in Frakkin Frocks, she'll take care of you, all right?
Make me a Crusher Creel outfits, okay?
All right, so now we got to get down to why we really all came here tonight. Our dear friend Jon Schnepp, you have made a film, The Death of Superman Lives. What happened? And it premiered last Thursday in Hollywood. And so far, I would have to say the reviews have been, I wouldn't even just say good. I'd say they've been excellent. I mean, are you, obviously you were so close to this film. Are you at all surprised at just how overwhelmingly positive it's all been?
I'm very happy with how positive they are.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really great to, like, yeah, definitely very close. I mean, Holly Payne, the producer, myself, Chris Grable, who's the technical producer, did all the compositing, and my co-editor, Marie Homura. We've been working on it literally for about 6 weeks solid, like just going home to sleep and coming back. And then the very last week, we were having technical issues, as it always happens. Right. Sound wasn't syncing up, so I literally went the last 4 days before the premiere, I had about 3 hours sleep total over 4 days. It was kind of one of those nightmare meltdowns the night before. Right. Like at 2 in the morning, we're like, why is everything off sync again? And it was like, you know, we had to get this thing burned. It was just insane. Yeah. I mean, so, you know, if you saw me that night at the premiere, any of my friends or people who came there, I was totally out of it. I was just sweating. So I'm happy I made it through. Yes. And then just to get that kind of positive response, like listening to people laugh and enjoy themselves during the movie was so gratifying. And then getting the reviews afterwards, almost all positive reviews. So, you know, 10 out of 10, like that kind of stuff was like, I wasn't expecting that. So I was very happy that what we all made really cut through and translated.
Well, I have to say that, you know, as long as I've known you, you've been making this film, and a lot of documentaries can be very dry, and I was just extremely surprised with how funny and how engaging it was. I mean, it was a wonderful film, and the highlight for me of the evening has to be during the Q&A when Miss Holly Payne proposed to you.
I know, right?
That was crazy.
I didn't even know it was coming, guys. I just, you know, I'd been with her for almost 13 years, and she finally broke me down, and she was like, busted me out, and I was like, it's about time, and I was very happy. I said yes, and we're going to be planning a gigantic party next year. So
congratulations.
Already thinking about what aircraft hangar I'm going to have to rent out. And,
like that.
3-ring circus of fun. It's going to, so, you know.
Suit by Frakkin Frocks,
yeah,
maybe?
Suit by Frakkin Frocks, very highly possible. So, yeah, very happy about that. And we've been working together on this now for over 2 years. I ran the Kickstarter in January of 2013. And like 2.5 months later, we surprisingly, I just did it like, look, I wanted to try something different. This was an idea that I was interested in. Ran it on Kickstarter, and I was shocked to see how many people also wanted to see this. Were interested in the same thing. So then I realized how hard it was to actually make a documentary. You have to actually ask people to be involved.
Sure.
Like I'm used to directing stuff and being like, all right, you're hired, and then we're just making it.
Yeah.
And this was like, hey, do you want to be involved? No. was like, that's not the answer that I'm.
You're not as excited as me about this?
You're supposed to be on board, and it was like so. It took a lot longer to get everyone, but I'm the kind of guy who doesn't give up. So eventually, I got everyone, and I definitely have to thank Holly for us getting Jon Peters because I did give up on him a couple of months ago. I was like, look, I couldn't contact him. There was like all of his contacts were all locked down. There was like no way to get a hold of him. And she kept saying, don't give up on him, man. He's going to be he's really important. We need to get him. And I was like, no, we don't. But I kept, going for it, and then finally got in contact with someone who knew someone else who got. So eventually I ended up talking to him, and he was like, maybe I want to do it, maybe I don't, this and that. And then he said, let's do it. And he was a fantastic interview. So much fun. In fact, he called me today on the phone to congratulate me and thank me. And I was like,
awesome.
It was so awesome. The guy, it was very fun, and he's a very fun interview, and a lot of people find humor in some of the things he says.
Sure. Now, we heard the Christopher Walken Brainiac tidbit. Were there any other questions that you had that were answered that really stood out for you in the making of this film that you were wondering?
Yes.
They're kind of pillars with you?
Sure. You know what? When I was over the last few years, I would just every couple months I'd search online and find I'd just say Superman Lives concept art and look for new stuff because it was fun to try to find wonder if somebody put a new Brainiac drawing, or what if there's a new Rainbow suit or something like that, or I wonder if the script finally popped off, like Wesley Strick's script, you couldn't find it anywhere. Dan Gilroy's third draft, you couldn't find it anywhere. So there were certain things that I was looking for, and once I started doing this, once I started actually doing the Kickstarter, all these people started emailing me from out of the the Ethernet ether, just I can't use my name, but there's this flying footage that does exist. I was like, well, do you have access to it? No. I was like, well, do you know people who do? No. I was like, God damn it. So it was this early kind of thing. And then eventually someone was like, I work at Almost Human and they're filming Big Eyes and I could get you the production manager's email, but I don't want to get fired. I was like, all right. I won't say anything. So I was able to email the production manager, and that got passed over to somebody who worked with Tim Burton. His name's Derek Fry, and he asked him about if he wanted to be involved, and he was super busy. He said he knew about it. How long can I wait? I was like, I'll wait forever. So even though I was slowly inching towards getting even Tim Burton, I couldn't announce it to anybody.
Sure.
My whole thing was I'll never say that I got anybody until after we actually filmed it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be like, well, we are almost going to get Kevin Smith.
Right.
Well, when are you going to get him? I don't know.
Sure.
So it became that thing where I was like, I didn't want to say anything. And then it became a thing once we got Tim Burton, we got Kevin Smith, then it was I can't say anything about all the cool stuff that we discovered. Holly and I were let into the Wizard of Oz, Raiders of the Lost Ark, area of where all of Tim Burton's stuff is all stored. And we had this little area where we were shooting for 2 days straight, 14-hour days, just shooting all of this incredible artwork and photos and stuff like that, and it was amazing, and my mind was blown. I was I thought I had seen so much that was online. I was like, I've got a folder full of stuff. Nothing. Right. It was tip of the iceberg. 3% of stuff is just. So that to me was the most gratifying thing, to not only get access to all this amazing artwork and creativity and a behind the scenes footage, and also Nick Cage and Tim Burton from 15 years ago. While they were doing costume tests, talking about the character, Nick Cage talking about what he's going to do as Clark Kent, as Superman, them having fun, interacting, exchanging ideas, being a fly on the wall, just listening to this stuff that was captured, albeit on a VHS fuzzy home movie kind of tape, was just incredible, jaw-dropping, and I couldn't share that with anybody until now. So it's been this really a big relief for me to be able to share all this stuff, all this amazing artwork that I never knew existed. Just fantastic, really super creative stuff, which I always kind of felt was there. I was like, this was going to be a very different Superman film, and it wasn't going to be like Man of Steel. It was going to be a lighthearted, cosmic fairy tale is kind of how I approach it. It would have been fun. It would have been a lot of fun. And Cage, when you see this movie, you'll see he had such a unique take as Clark Kent first, and then as Superman, as an outsider and an alien and a misunderstood, and Clark Kent being a bigger freak than Superman. He says no one would ever believe that this would be Superman, and I was like, my God, that's such an amazing. He's so weird already. You wouldn't. That's not Superman.
That can't be.
That can't possibly be him. Right. So
that's terrific. So you had 3 really successful days in a row where you premiered the film in Hollywood, and now what's next? Where are you taking it?
Well, I was going to say also, the very last night at the Egyptian, Kevin Smith came and he saw the film. A lot of the artists and other writers had come on the red carpet premiere night, but Kevin was busy, and he was like, I can come on Saturday. I didn't know if he was going to see the film or just come and do the Q&A, but he ended up running into Wesley Strick's wife, who's like actually one of the second screenwriter, and she told him how amazing the film was, and he was like, oh, I'm definitely, I'm going to see it. So he saw it and came on, and we talked for like an hour and a half afterwards and just talked about Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Totally nerding out with Kevin Smith is like a highlight.
Sure.
A highlight of the evening for me was a lot of fun, and that he liked the film that we made so much was definitely gratifying. You could see it. So.
Amazing.
It's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming back, John. We always love having you on the show.
Yeah, Holly Payne, are you around in the audience anywhere?
Holly Payne?
I think she's sitting right outside the door.
Holly Payne, come on in here.
Let her in. Come on in. This is live television. Live.
Nick Cage, actually, come on in.
Holly, sit down.
We're getting ready to go to London. We're going to be premiering this at the MCM London Comic Con on the 22nd and 23rd. So any UK sweaties, get those tickets now. Get them at the MCMLondonComicCon.com. You can pre-order them right now. Get them because we're like starting to fill that thing up. It's like filling up very quickly. Just wanted to say that and say hey to Holly.
Holly, great to have you on.
Producer of the film.
Congratulations on the success of the film and the good reviews.
I got it done.
You got it done. I'm not surprised. I was about to quote, I'm an excellent driver from Rain Man for some reason, which makes no sense.
Hey, John Peters produced.
I'm an excellent producer.
produced that film.
That's why he's everywhere.
Tying it all back.
All right, guys, we got to go. I want to thank Brian Conowall, Erika Ishiii, Stephanie Pressman, as always, Kevin, Kellen, Steven, Corinne behind the scenes doing some ace reframing of the cameras. Kellen getting sworn at a lot during the show behind the scenes. I used the F word, Mom. I'm real sorry about that. For everybody here at Geek 360, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll have a brand new episode next week. Stick around because there's going to be a really important message about Mother's Day from America's Sweethearts. So check that out. Thanks for watching.
Mother's Day is May 10th, and let me guess, you forgot. Well, don't worry about it. I got you covered. This year for Mother's Day, get your mom laid. I know what you're thinking. What's Dad gonna say? Well, let's face it, Dad's 68 years old, and even with medical advancements, it's tough to trust a man that age to get the job done. Instead, let Kaimu Flowers delight your mother with one of these beautiful lays. Or, if that's a little much for you, why not treat her to an orchid spray? This Mother's Day, let Kaimu Flowers help your mom spend Mother's Day a tropical way. If you need help ordering, call this number right here or go to the website.
For more Geek 360, click subscribe on the stream.tv.